What's up guys, this is Wenzes. Welcome back to my channel where we talk about creating an epic life on your terms. And today we're talking about the 4 times I should have listened to my gut instinct earlier. You know, in the last weeks we've been talking about gut instincts in all facets of our life, but today I really want to go back into my past. I want to talk to you about the things that I learned along the way, and maybe they can inspire you to take the steps that your gut instinct is guiding you towards, because amazing things can happen. And I know if I could go back in time, I would make those decisions earlier. Before we get started, I want to remind you, if you want to work with me privately, now is the perfect time, because starting 2020, my prices go up and I'm discontinuing my 6-month coaching package. So I only have 2 6-month coaching packages left. So if you want to take advantage of that, really do that now. The last one was sold like a couple of days ago. So really those are the last ones I can take on in the new year. And then we only have the smaller packages, but at a higher price. Number 1, the profession I chose. So for the ones of you who don't know me, I haven't been doing this my whole life, professionally at least. I come from an academic background. My aunt is a professor in nuclear physics. My mom is a mathematician. My parents both were programmers in the banking industry their entire life. So guess what? I went on to study economics and have a master's in finance, and I worked in the banking industry. And it wasn't really for me, but I really recognized that only when I got to a point where I was really able to really go into management. I was really working for already, I think, 7 years before I actually quit. So all of these years, I've been going down a road that now I completely neglected. And you have to understand, I'm making my living now with something that I have no formal education in comparison to something that I studied all my school years, because back then, that was the one thing that my mom was always keen on that I studied, which was math, finance. I went to college. I have a degree with honors, and then I really went up the ladder in this area. But I recognized the higher I came up that it really wasn't what my core was yearning for. And if I really look back, all those years, I already had all the things that I'm doing right now visible to me. It's not that I was really good at math and that was always the best thing I had on my report papers. No, I actually was really great at ethics. I was really great at philosophy. I was great at all the things that had anything to do with thought processes, with really learning what makes us tick, how we can improve that. And I actually used that in all my personal relationships. I always chose relationships that gave me the opportunity to mentor. And so I've been doing this my entire life, but I wasn't aware of it. And I'm sure this is something that you've seen in your life as well. It doesn't have to be that it's your job, but there are things that we have in our life that we just don't dare to look at because it's just not something we were allowed to look at. So when you look at your profession, no matter what age you are, it really isn't that you have to do this for the rest of your life. Specifically in our time, you see people at 40, 50, 60 saying, I need something more. I need to self-actualize myself. And you can take on the things that really matter to you. And you just gotta look at what really makes you tick. What is the thing that you want people to see you for? And it really wasn't that I wanted people to see me as somebody who can be all logical and get all of this stuff done. I just wanted excitement. And this was the only area I thought I could see my excitement expressed, right? Because I had this vision of this is where I have to go, or this is the only possibility I have, and how can I improve it in this thing? But my gut instinct told me early on, this isn't gonna give you the life you want. I remember it was 5 years ago. So before I started this channel, starting this channel was actually one of the main things that helped me to get out of that. So I quit my job after 7 years after college, but after 2 years of college, I even started doing this because I knew it's just not gonna be enough. It's just not gonna fulfill me. And I remember how I was staying at work and I was in this cubicle and I looked outside the window and I kind of felt, where's my exciting life? It's somewhere out there. It's outside of this window. It's outside of me. And if you feel that, that's your gut instinct telling you that you really get to experience it in here, in your body, the way you are right now, because it's never gonna be outside of you. You have to improve your life the way it is right now. Start from that point and do something that makes you self-actualize. See, when I started doing my channel, I really didn't think that that was the thing that's gonna give me a lot of money. At least it's gonna take 10 years before I can start doing this full time. In the end, it took me 3 years, but it only worked so fast because I wasn't expecting this to be something that I have to do full time. This has to be the thing that makes me rich or makes me financially independent. I thought this is something that I'm building that maybe, as I said, in 10, 20 years will be something, but right now it was just important because my gut instinct told me that this is missing in my life. So if you have something in your life which makes you feel alive or what you think is missing, then really start living it out. And don't think about, is this actually reasonable? Is this gonna make me money? I'm gonna be an artist without means. Figure these things out later. Do this additionally. Add this to your life because you need this in order to feel you're living out your real truth. And you will see with time, all the ideas will come how you can be even more of service and maybe even monetize it in a way where it makes sense to you, where you feel like I serve, I deserve. But it all starts with you listening to your gut instinct. And I know now, if I would have listened to my gut instinct earlier, I would have done those steps earlier. Maybe I would have studied psychology. Maybe I would have gone into that direction directly. But what do you know when you're 20 years old and you're supposed to decide what you're gonna do for the rest of your life? There's no way you can know this. Your mind is not developed far enough. You don't have enough experience yet. But your gut instinct, that is the one thing that is always guiding you and telling you that something is missing. And it just takes a while. You cannot know these things when you're 20. So you need the time, and maybe you need to be 30, 40, 50, 60 until you know, now I can really listen to my gut instinct. But in our time, we have so many opportunities to actually self-actualize. So take the chance, start today, and keep on doing it, not because you expect something out of it, but because you know that you can't live with yourself knowing that your soul is yearning for something and you're not doing anything about it. Number 2, changing my taste in men. So I assume that's really interesting to you, and for me it's interesting as well. We all want to know these things because the closest relationships, our intimate relationships, are the things that we project most in. That's just how we are wired. The closer somebody is to us psychologically, the easier it is for us to actually project out the things that we cannot or don't feel like we have the right to do on our own. And that's the way it was for me. See, I was single for many years, probably the majority of my 20s I was single. And the relationship that I had before that and the little things that happened in between, none of them was somebody that I actually can see as a partner who supports me in my dreams, somebody who is an equal, somebody that I can lean on to and who could be in a life and support me and make me a better person. It doesn't mean that the people were bad in any kind of way, but that I was going for people that could never give me what I wanted them to give me. I had way too big expectations on them. And don't get me wrong, I'm not talking about things like, oh, I need him to be 6'2" and he has to like music and he has to do this. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying that I expected these people to do things that I could do myself. And it was things that actually kept me from going towards people and situations that could really give me what I needed. So I'll make it a little clearer. So I personally always had an impression of I need excitement in my life. I didn't want to take care of excitement myself because when I was growing up, I always felt like, oh, every time I went and did something adventurous, people around me didn't want me to do that. I was too loud. I was too outspoken. I was too annoying, whatever it was. And so I learned that I have to keep myself back. And since I did that, what is the next best thing? I chose my best friends. I chose my partners or my crushes with people who would create more drama in my life, more excitement with that as well, instead of me doing it for myself. But when you do that, you have to make compromises because you're always looking for these kind of categories in people. And if they don't have that, then they're not interesting to you. But what happens when I decided and I understood, Wenzes, if your gut instinct is going towards those people, those are your crushes, and they never work out, then what is the thing that all of those things have in common? Guess what? It's me. And what is the one thing that my gut instinct tells me? Why am I going towards those people? Because they're exciting. So how can I actually include more excitement into my life if these people weren't around? That's when things changed. That's when I said, I'm gonna step out of the norm. I'm gonna step out of the matrix. I'm gonna start doing things that are exciting and risky because this is what I love and this makes me feel alive. And you know what happened? The moment I started doing this, all the people with their drama, they didn't interest me anymore because I already took care of that myself. And the good thing about this is I don't have to make those compromises because if those people were really that interesting to me, even without this drama, I would still be interested in them. But I wasn't. From one day to another, those people really didn't interest me as a partner, as a possible partner. I was actually projecting what I wanted to be and not who I wanted to have at my side. And things like this kept on going. And now my relationship is as great as it is because I have somebody that I don't see as a solution to the things I'm lacking, to the things I'm projecting. I don't see it as, okay, I need somebody to be a certain way so I feel good about myself. I know where I'm going. I know who I am. And I have somebody at my side who supports me in that. But I can only do that if I show up as the best version of myself. So if you're in a position where you feel like, oh, I'm always having crushes on people and they don't work out, then ask yourself, why is this continuing to happen over and over again? You're playing a pattern in your mind which tells you I'm going for something I cannot have, because you cannot have this. You do this to yourself. Like, you really decide to go after something and talk to people who mirror back to you that you're not good enough or interesting enough, or that you're just not giving them what they need. You do that because you're with the wrong people. Those are not the people who are supposed to support you in who you are. And if you've had bad experience with the same type of person, then it's really about time that you see what of those qualities they all have in common that I actually want to include into my life. But then it's on my terms. I don't have to make any compromises for it. Then you're much closer to choosing a partner that is really there to support you while you take care of all of those things by yourself. Really somebody who takes care of things you cannot take care of yourself, who are really, really difficult to take care of yourself, and not because you don't allow it to yourself. Do you know how often I actually chose people because I thought they're cool and they gonna give my life coolness because I'm not cool enough? And why did this all happen? Because me as a child, I was not the cool kid. I was not the one that people really wanted to hang out with. I was always different and I always liked my individuality, but people didn't really understand me. So I always felt if the cool kids hang out with me, then I'm cool. So I always aimed for that. But the moment I recognized, oh, actually, you are cool the way you are right now. You have to like yourself the way you are right now. And that is actually the best version of cool you could ever find, because your understanding of cool, nobody can do but you. And if you really live that, if you love that, then you don't look out for those things. And then I kind of like really started looking out for things that actually enrich my life and not things that just mirror back to me some kind of insecurity that I want to have fulfilled. Because what did I do? I actually started hanging out with people and wanted their appreciation when I actually thought that the way I live my life and the way I am was much closer to my definition of cool than them. So how could this ever work? And you know how many people do this? So really start listening to your gut instinct and understand that it's okay to want all of those things, but take them as information of things you can include into your life. How can you change your life? How can you start doing things? How can you start seeing yourself in a way which makes you feel you already have that? And you'll see how you start attracting completely different people. You have a completely different taste in partners, and your life just opens up like you would have never believed. Number 3, trusting in failures and imperfections. I really like this point, and this is really something, the earlier I would have started with this, the better, because I have learned that I want to have a growth mindset. With that being said, I know that every time I fail at something, every time I have an imperfection at something, it's not a sign that there's something wrong with me at all. It's a skill. It's something I know at this moment. It's something I have or have not learned so far, and nothing more. And the more often you actually get rejected, the more you understand that this has absolutely nothing to do with you. And the more often you do that, the more often you understand what you really want. You take the lessons learned from this one thing that was a failure for you, and you transform it in a way that you would have never been able to if you didn't experience this failure. You know, successful people, they have experienced 10 times, million times more failures than an unsuccessful person has ever even tried. So if you feel like, oh, I'm not good enough, people are gonna judge me, people are gonna reject me, lean into that. Be okay with that. Think about, okay, so I'm gonna do this and people are gonna say, oh, you suck. You don't know what you're talking about. Why do you even dare to do that? Like, go through all of those things that you're afraid of and say, I'm gonna be okay with that. Don't tell yourself, oh, people are gonna like me. People are gonna like me. Because a lot of people are not. And that's okay. It's just about learning that you're gonna be okay while people don't like you. Because that way you start going towards the things that really make you feel appreciated. You go towards the people that really value you. As long as you really feel that all of those mistakes, all of those imperfections, failures are a representation of what you're lacking, you're gonna surround yourself with people who mirror exactly that back to you. And I used to do that. I used to do that so often. For example, it is easier when it's something like, oh, I'm not that good at math, or I have problems with detail-oriented work, and then it's okay if people see that, because I know I suck at detail-oriented work, but I really mean even things that are deeper. For me, it was really often a sense of selfishness, that I was just overwhelmed caring about a lot of people. I couldn't keep up with a lot of social obligations, and sometimes I really felt bad for it. So I felt like there was something missing in me. I wasn't really showing up in a way how I should have. Or for example, I always was a very strong-minded person, but I felt every time I would actually express that, every time I would go out and fight for a life that's better than the norm, people are gonna reject me. People are not gonna like me. And I was so scared of that, because for me, that represented that I'm rejectable, that I'm being abandoned, that there's something wrong with me. And you know how I learned to get over that? I only learned that while I faced this rejection, while I felt this complete abandonment, while I felt all of those things. Because then I understood I was actually the one rejecting myself. I was the one judging myself. And of course, if people rejected me on such a scale that it hurts so bad, then it's because I really believe that I'm not lovable at this level. And that goes for everything you take on in life. Even if it's your job, if it's your relationship, if it's the way you interact with others, if it's your way and your thoughts that you want to hide from the world because you feel people are gonna judge you. All of that is a judgment you have towards yourself. And every time you face the failure, you know what happens? You're still alive afterwards. You still see that you can handle it. You see that you were strong enough to take it, and then others can take it as well. I thought if I once express all of my anger, people around me are gonna explode pretty much. They're not gonna take it. It's so strong and it's so not feminine and it's gonna be so ugly. But they survived. I survived, and I'm a better person because of it. You're stronger than you think. And you can have two kinds of pains. You can have the pain of growth, which comes from facing imperfections and facing failure, following your gut instinct, or the pain of regret and the pain of knowing that there's something more in your life and you're not going towards it. Number 4, I'm not alone. This is what my gut instinct told me. And you know why? Because it feels so good to be yourself. And every time you feel good about yourself, it's a sign that you're exactly how you're supposed to be. And if you're exactly how you're supposed to be, how can you be alone? How can you be rejected by society, by anybody around you? But what did the reality really show me at that point? It actually showed me, yes, you're gonna be rejected. Nobody likes you. You're different than everybody else. But why was all of this happening? It was only happening because I believed that about myself. And because I believed that about myself, let's not even go there why I got this way. We all experience things in childhood that give us the impression that the way we are, that is wrong, that there's something lacking, that there's something missing. But that's just not the case. And if you know that if you would really step out of your core, if you would step out of who you think you have to be and become the person you want to be, the people around you are going to reject you. Guess what? You're going to be right, because you have surrounded yourself with people who mirror back to you what you believe. So those are the people who also believe that there's something wrong with you. That's what you chose, because you want your reality to match what you really think. But that information is amazing to know, because what does that mean? This means that if you really stand up in your truth and you're connected with everything and you're part of creation, if you really stand up and really be yourself, you're gonna start surrounding yourself with people who have the same interest in you, who understand you, who really value who you are and what you bring to the table. But it's not gonna be in the beginning, because in the beginning, your reality matches way too much your old understanding of yourself. And I've met so many people who've asked me for advice, and they've said, well, I can't really be myself because people always reject me. And I just tell you, you're not going far enough. You're just not going far enough, because the people around you are going to reject you. That's okay, and that's normal. It's about you standing even when you're alone. You standing even if nobody understands it, because you know deep down your gut is telling you that this is who you really are. And if you're meant to be this way, how can you be wrong? And if you stand there in your complete conviction of you being exactly how you're supposed to be, the people around you who do not understand you, they will have no interaction with you anymore, because you're not going to be bothered anymore with trying to make them understand you. You're just not going to care about them because you know that their way of thinking is just completely different than your own. You just go towards what you want and you start connecting with people who believe in the same things you believe in. And I can guarantee you there's not one thing that you do, one thing that you believe in, that you won't find another person liking the same thing, believing in the same thing, having any kind of thing that corresponds with this. Just look on the internet. If you really love building something very specific and you feel nobody has any understanding of it, you will find a niche for it. You will find people talking about it on Reddit. You will find it in forums. You will find YouTube channels on it. There is a community for everything. And now that we're connected like this, we get to actually experience it in a positive way and connect with each other. I am not alone, and my gut instinct told me this. And now I'm surrounded by such amazing people who want to talk to me, who want to listen to me, who want to share their beliefs with me. And we're all connected in a community. And none of this would have happened if I wasn't willing to have the people around me reject me stand up and say, although you reject me, I'm gonna live this out, because I will not waste my life pretending to be somebody I'm not. I really hope that helped you, inspired you a little bit to work on the things that you love about yourself and to listen to your gut instinct more often, because there are amazing things you can and you get to experience if you do this. I wish you wonderful holidays. The next video is coming out next Sunday. If you want to know more about creating an epic life on your terms, the whole system behind it, go check out the webinar. The link's in the description. And as I said, if you want to work with me privately, now is the perfect time, because the prices go up and I'm discontinuing my 6-month package. So for the same price, you're only gonna get 3 months in the new year. So this is really the last chance. There are only 2 spots left at the time of this recording. So be quick, because first come, first serve. Like always, guys, I wish you a wonderful day, a great week, and I talk to you next time. Bye.